Olajide Olayinka Williams Olatunji, well known as KSI, is not a famous boxer. Rather, he was a jack of all trades and deeds. Jack of all trades? Wonder how? He was a blogger, musician, and FIFA player. From all those titles, he paved his way toward becoming a boxer. The way he worked hard to earn that title still remains an inspiration to people all around the world. Now let us dive into the furious performances when KSI proved his excellence in the ring. Do follow along. Number 5. In the 5th position comes one of his early competitions with a very worthy opponent, Logan Paul. This was a competition where the crowd never imagined for JJ to win the title. Do not be confused. KSI was also referred to as JJ, short for Jai Jr. Before the match, KSI was not predicted to prevail due to his physical attributes, but the efforts he put into it made him a formidable opponent for Logan Paul. Despite the boxer's outstanding physical condition prior to the battle, there was a clear size gap. First of all, JJ lacked Logan's brother's physical attributes, and in the previous fight, his own brother prevailed. But as soon as the battle started, it became clear that Logan had strength in addition to his rapid jab, and KSI appeared to have a slim chance of winning. Victorious Paul added a straight right to his jab, and he plays decent defense. But as the battle continued, it became clear that KSI would not back down. The transformation that he brought about caused the opponent to stop boxing and start fighting from round to round, which eventually covered Paul's face in blood. Logan was able to conceal from JJ and their slugfest in the clinch. Over time though, it became unsafe there as well. KSI managed to launch an attack while in the clinch. After the bout, opinions were split, with some favoring Paul's early technical rounds and JJ's second round of brutality. But everyone concurred that the KSI's determination to win surprised everyone. Number 4. You probably turned on this video expecting to watch fights and knockouts, but let's face it, KSI stunned everyone with its change even before his first battle. Not your typical makeover, then. His bodily alteration is the subject. Many people have already forgotten that JJ began his career as a FIFA player, and that his athletic skills were at best average. He changed from his previous physique shape through various exercises, including running. KSI had the appearance of a man who solely played FIFA. Therefore, many questioned how he could overcome an athletic man before the battle with Joe Weller. However, everyone was in disbelief when JJ finally revealed what he had been working on for months. He transformed from a small, overweight guy with sloppy motions into a true athlete. Every muscle was flawlessly shredded and pumped. Many people now believe that KSI is the best athlete in the bout after seeing his transformation. The fact that he underwent such a transition, though, demonstrated that anything is achievable with enough effort. And that is what matters most. So, we're heading to the next location. Aren't you excited to know more? Don't worry, we've got you covered. Number 3. In 2018, KSI vs. Joe Weller marked the beginning of YouTube boxing on the western section of our beloved platform. This fight allowed bloggers to start boxing blogs and exposed many people to sweet science. But compared to our time, 2018 was a completely different year. Diss rails flooded at the time like a plague. KSI personally participated in this, which damaged his reputation but fanned the flames. He wanted to go from playing FIFA to being a rapper due to the audience member who walked out. Around the same time as the conflict with Joe, JJ appeared to have lost his mind in the view of the majority. After a string of diss tunes, he entered the ring to face off against all the other favorites, including the clearly favored athlete Joe Weller. Many of you may not believe it now because it sounds so unbelievable, but you should watch their battle and listen to the commentary to hear that everyone was on Joe's side, save for the side guy, who in the entrances understandably favored KSI. JJ was in enemy territory, and everyone was working against him. It became evident. Bias was evident as soon as the fight started. KSI's actions were disregarded, whereas Weller's every move was sung about. It's important to note that Joe got off to a good start. He was able to maintain his distance because of his effective jabs. However, within the first minute of the first round, JJ swiftly adjusted and started to hurl a hell of jabs at his opponent before adding power punches. As a result, this fight was over. Powerful blows evolved into a famous combo windmills by the third round, and Joe had the largest ketchup fan expression. Of course, after the referee stopped the bout, such a beating could not go on. Nobody could have predicted such a result of the fight at the time of the announcement, but JJ managed to shock everyone and win his first bout in this manner. Number 2. Fights, fights, fights. Competitive fights, physical changes, and knockouts have already been covered. But there is no other way to shock the world. After the second fight with Logan Paul, how about 2 KOs in a single evening? Years later, KSI decided to fight again and decided to warm up against Alex Wasabi. But a few weeks before the battle, the opponent pulled out because of a concussion. Finding a worthy opponent is challenging, given how quickly the event appears doomed. JJ took 2 instead of just 1. The first was a professional fighter, and the second was the rapper Swarms, who gave everyone shivers with just 1 glance. It's important to note that even professional boxers do not issue themselves such challenges. Only amateurs compete in tournaments where they battle more than 1 opponent per evening due to the high likelihood of losing the first fight. However, on fight day, everyone dons larger helmets and gloves. The world was horrified by KSI. He knocked down 10 opponents in 2 fights. For your understanding, he unexpectedly put up a more fierce battle than a professional boxer and was the first to be slain. He occasionally even connected with blows, but JJ ultimately prevailed by knockout due to his inexperience. A professional boxer who was second in line for the main event was destroyed by KSI as if he had stolen something from him. The boxer began to imitate blows to the back of the head after realizing he had no counterpunches to JJ's pressure. The referee accepted all of this before realizing that they were tried and true techniques. The opponent was knocked out as soon as the referee stopped watching the receiving and allowed KSI to do his job. Thus, we witnessed 2 fights and 10 knockdowns in one evening. Number 1. Let's not forget the 5th place finish in the first matchup with Logan Paul, a draw that both the competitors and the spectators dreaded. Given that many thought Paul could prevail, and since this was his first boxing encounter without prior experience, Paul entered the rematch. Logan was an even larger favorite than JJ since he was bigger and more skilled, and they were now fighting in America. There are probably worse situations, but it seems that KSI works better under strain. The illustrious Eddie Hearn sponsored the first influencer fight conducted under professional regulations. Similar to the first fight, this one started off similarly. Logan shot KSI with jabs and looked more technical, thanks to which he took the round. JJ understood that the fight was going according to the old scenario, so he decided to increase the pace and press Logan harder. This round was closer. However, everything changed in the third when KSI knocked down Paul. The referee did not count the knockdown, but this morally shook the American as soon as it seemed that the initiative was in JJ's hands. Logan rocked him and knocked him down, but on replay it's noticeable that Logan held his head and managed to hit the back of the head, because of which the knockdown was counted. But also Paul lost 2 points from this point. On the initiative really changes. Both fighters are tired and fight only on willpower, in which KSI has no equal purely on character. He won subsequent rounds and shocked the whole world with a victory in the first professional blogger fight. Having the determination to win over anything is an important quality that is needed by every human being. The willpower makes everything possible rather than the ability. That's all about some of the top times when KSI proved his worth to the world. We hope that you liked today's video. Stay tuned for more interesting and enlightening videos. All your interesting subjects are on the way. Do subscribe to the channel and ring the bell icon so you don't miss out on any amazing content. Goodbye until we see each other again.